Hey all you home teaching people, let's talk about what the difference between OBS and Camtasia is and whether it's worth the money to get it. So OBS is the free version of a streaming software. It's made originally to be game streamers on Twitch or something like that. You'd use it to stream and you'll see the top button is streaming. It did give us the option a couple of versions ago to start recording. So the catch with it being a streaming video is there's no way to pause it in the middle. So if you screw up, you're going to have to go back and edit it in a later software like After Effects if you want to use that. To do this, to make it set up for streaming, or for not only for streaming but for recording, you have to go into settings, go into output, and then go to your recording, set up where you want to put it to. And then for any of the other stuff, we go to output and streaming. We can see that you want to set up the right codecs for this stuff. And if you want to go into this, we can do this at a different time. I just want to go over the roughness of it. You can tell the video compression you want. You can tell it where it's putting it out, all this stuff. And then you upload it to wherever you need to. Okay, so the way this works is it tells you get to pick a monitor you want to work on. It's the other thing about this program is it's definitely made for more than one monitor. If you have one monitor, it gets a little bit tricky. So the idea is that you can come in here and pick which monitor you want to work from. Right now we're working on my second monitor, which is my top monitor, and this is where I would record from. It's usually this or the bottom monitor that I would record from. So you get to pick that here, and you can say okay, and you can tell it to capture the cursor if you didn't see that. If you wanted to be able to jump between them without popping up that menu every time, usually you'd add a second one by just putting plus and then changing what you wanted. And you could also say which video source and all this stuff you're getting it from. You can do this, again, this was made for streaming, so a lot of the stuff in here is just game capture, display capture, that kind of stuff. So instead of pausing, Twitch streamers, when they take a break for a few minutes, what they do is they turn off their mic and they put up basically an old card that blocks the video. So we do that in here too if we're going to use it for any kind of transitions between the class. And the way you do it is you make these full Photoshop files that have the whole thing inside of here. So I've made this Photoshop file, it has the intro in it. You can also do it with transparency and a ping, and you can see that the transparency fills through here. So if you want to do banners and whatever, you can do that, and then you can have them all set up before you start recording and then click the buttons as you go. They do have transitions. They have some certain transitions. They have cut, wipe, swipe, and then I think if you say plus, there's some other options too, fade to color, luma wipe, and things like that. So you can do a few of those transitions. So like when I switch over to, let's say, working monitor, or let's say scene 1, you see how it fades out because that's what it's set to. Here, it's easier to see if I do it from here to scene 1, which should be my main camera. So anyway, that's the basic layout of the program. That's how it works in general. The way I worked with it, I'll give you a little rundown of how it worked for me. I would try to record everything in one pass. I don't know how many times I started over just so I didn't have to edit it. It ended up that I couldn't reliably count on me doing that 100% clean every time. It was a lot of redos, and like I said, so when I did take it into After Effects to edit it up and clean it up and then put it out, I had to first not encode it from here and then bring it into After Effects and try and get the same encoding that I got from this or from the way I set it up in Camtasia. The deal is that Adobe has this program called Media Encoder, and that's where it sends out everything you have from Premiere or from After Effects or any other software that's going to put a video out. It doesn't have it internally in the programs anymore. Now they have a secondary program called Media Encoder. That program took 3 times to 4 times as long, but it also didn't do the same quality. I've seen tons of tests and tons of examples, and I did my own, and the quality that I got when I posted to YouTube later with Camtasia was much better and cleaner and faster. And on top of that, the idea of recording something in this software and then going to a whole nother software and editing it inside of there. I've used After Effects for years. But the idea of doing that and then sending it to a third program to make sure the encoding is working right now, and it still didn't work, it was just like, I've got to find a solution that's faster. The whole point of me doing these videos, and I've done over 200 of them now, was to be able to do them fast and help the students in either on the fly or for a lecture. So for me, OBS is a great starting tool to get me into there, but it was not the one that I could use if I was going to do as many videos as I did, and it's something to think about. And I'll go on to Camtasia next.